All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in. Good to see you here. Have you been with us all day? That's even better. We try to make you stay, give you some good information and see what these markets are doing. Let's start with corn and see what that's up to. I have to hit that corn button and the technology starts to unfold. And there we go. We got a corn board that's now turned around. We're a little bit higher here, but not very much. We're just playing with the unchanged line all day today. Dees is up 3/4 cent now to 486.5. We haven't been able to breach that 5-cent range we've had today in Dees corn. So we're right smack dab in the middle of it. 486.5, that's up 3/4 cent. We're anywhere between unchanged to up 3/4 cent when you talk about corn. So there you go. That's the board. Soybeans, we've probably come back a little bit. We have, not by much, so about 3 cents. We're 12.5 cents lower still in November to 13.63 3/4. And that's about 4 cents off the lows, right? And we've had, not 19-cent range. So we're 4 cents off the lows of a 19-cent range. That probably doesn't really change your mind that much about what that market's been doing. But we're 12.5 cents lower on the day. 13.64 last there. All right, how about we go over and talk about Chicago wheat? That's down 3.5 cents. And that D's contract is 605.5, 3 cents from the low. And we've had an 11-cent range. How about that? So 3 cents from the low on an 11-cent range. That kind of paints the picture. We're down 3.5 cents. Again, 605.5 is last. That's Chicago wheat. Let's go over to Kansas City and see what the hard red's doing there. 7.75 cents lower in that D's contract to 741.75. That's about 4 cents off of the low, 3.75 cents off the lows. And we had about a 16-cent range over there, 16 just over. So 3.5, 4 cents off the lows of a 16-cent range. That'll also give you the feeling about what's been going on over there. We're 8 cents lower in the day, and the price 741.5. That's the hard red wheat in Kansas City. That's the D's contract. If we move over to Minneapolis, take a look at the spring wheat there. That D's contract's down 3.75 cents to 778.75. That's 2.75 cents off the lows. We've had a tight range there of about 11 cents. So 2.75 cents off the lows of a 11-cent range. That also paints a picture. We're 3.75 cents lower. That's the D's contract. 778.75 is last there. Finally, let's take a look at cotton. Cotton's been sucking a little wind here today. 173 points lower in the D's contract. 85.27's last there. And that's really only 11 points off of the low in D's cotton. All right, let's bring in our next guest analyst. That's going to be Tommy Grisafi. He's coming to us from Valparaiso, Indiana. He's with Advanced Trading. That's a great friend of this show and the Cow Guy Close. Thanks for being on, Tommy. You got a tie on. Hope the court case went well. What are your thoughts here?
I will be able to get the kids back, and
Right.
they're going to let me pay for my kids' college is the decision. Now, things are good here at the Grisafi household, but I'll tell you where things are starting to get a little shaky. That river level in the Mississippi River, we need to get that up in the Panama Canal. That's complicated. I didn't know, but I Googled it, that the Panama Canal, the whole middle of it, making that water go up and down is from fresh water. And if they use too much of that fresh water, they won't actually have fresh water for the people. So a little tidbit there. Real quick, I talked to a great client today, and he called me and apologized for not having enough forwards sold. And I said, I thought that was my job to help you do that. But he said, you can't call the elevator for me. That's not what you do. I should have sold more. And I think all around the country, I have two things I want to talk about grains before we go to meats. Meats will be interesting in itself. That the crop insurance level really enabled people, farmers, to just have a very casual, cavalier attitude about marketing corn. And if we wouldn't have had that high crop insurance level, I think a lot more people would have $6 futures on the books. Also, social media is cruel in the sense that, not that anyone's hurt my feelings, I could really care less. I mean, like, I'm locked in my mom and dad's basement, so I'm safe down here. See all the mean, nasty stuff you want. But if someone's having a hot, dry area, you think the whole world's having a hot, dry area. And if there's a hot cash market somewhere, you think the whole world has a 50 over the board right now. And that's not how it really works. And so between that crop insurance level, Scott, that gave you that $6 floor on some of your bushels, and between the adverse weather that we've had, which we've always seemed to have some type of weather problem scenarios, and social media, it's really hindered people from doing a great job at marketing.
All right.
One last point. When he apologized, I said, why are you apologizing to me? He said, because the operating note's 10%. And if I would have had more grain sold, I could have paid that doggone thing off. And so I want to help farmers. I love farmers. We're rooting for the farmer. But like that little saying, when someone's sitting on the couch praying for help, and the good Lord says, get off the couch and go to work. You need
Right.
to go to work,
There you
people.
go.
You need to market your grain. We're getting into the serious zone. Let's take a break, pay for some of this stuff, and we'll come back and talk cattle.
Great timing. We'll take your advice. Thank you very much, Tommy. We're going to go away. Pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more on livestock with Tommy Grisafi, Advanced Trading in Valparaiso, Indiana. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. It's time for the livestock. Let's jump right in and see what we've got going on. And we've got a live cattle board up right now, and that's showing a little bit of a gain, about 80 cents in the October contract to 183.50. We're going to call that the middle of the range. We've had, at about a $2.30 range. So there you go, 80 cents higher in a $2.30 range. Not bad. 183.50 is last in October live cattle, and we're up between 77 and 87 cents across the board. All right, that's live cattle. We've also got a higher feeder board. That's higher by $2.22 to $258.70. So there you go. That's another good one. And we're up anywhere between $1.25 and $2.22 when we take a look at feeders. So October leading the way, $2.22 higher to $258.70. And then lean hogs, 3 for 3. We're up $1.20 in that October contract to $83.07. Again, 70 cents from the highs. And we've had just over a buck range there of about $1.30. $1.22 higher in the price, $83.10. That's October lean hogs. Let's get back to our guest analyst. That's going to be Tommy Grisafi, coming to us from Valparaiso, Indiana, from his mom's basement. He's with Advanced Trading. All right, brother, what do you got for us when it comes to livestock?
Well, my friend Meat Idea, he's out there on the Twitter sphere, which is a very wild place right now, I have to tell you, in all shapes and forms. But Meat Idea said, I haven't seen someone blow out of a 1,000-lot buy order like that in years. So I don't know if it was in the live cattle or the feeder cattle, but a large order. Now, of course, you couldn't hear the roar of the pits because the pits don't exist, but you could feel that buying action. Earlier in the day, live cattle were lower. They're now up pretty good. Feeder cattle just off to the races. Inventories matter. Supply and demand matters. Choices made and things that happened in the markets a few years ago are still affecting these markets. Meat, when you look at the meat cycle, it's a multi-year from boom to bust. And we are currently in probably what is maybe is the very last phase of that boom bust. And as these cattle numbers come down, if the price comes down, but it costs so much to produce that protein, like you and I talked about on Scott the Cow Guy. Haven't even looked at hogs today. Was all fascinated with what happened in cattle and trading a little bit of grains. Back to you, my friend.
All right, appreciate it. Always great content and good stuff. That's Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading in Valparaiso, Indiana. I'll bring it back here to Nashville. Music Row.